Hi, Kate here. I've been on a detox with a guest for the last 4 or 5 days, led her through some really beautiful internal work. And today, the genius tip I want to talk about is processing through garden therapy. Now, I know a lot of us do journaling, we do drawing, we do face-to-face counseling and talking, and there's something fantastic about all of that. But the staticness of sitting in a chair and talking about what's locked in our memory, sometimes it's so important to connect and move. So garden therapy gives the possibility for that. First of all, as soon as you go into the garden, instead of being locked in those memories, the water from the rain, the wind, the sun, the heat from the sun, picking up rocks and things like that that we work with, like handfuls of things like this, it creates straight away inside of us an awareness of our environment, which brings us into the here and now. Even mosquitoes biting really help. So we come into the here and now, and then the senses wake up because the color, like these purple flowers behind me on this side, or this bunch of pink ones here, the color and the smells and the textures and the touch of wind on our skin, it wakens up the senses, and they're associated with emotions. So we get all these amazing triggers come at us straight away, so that they help us to access emotion, our emotional and intellectual, our thinking level. We drop quickly beneath that into the creative mind, because when we're dealing with nature has its own creative force. You can see by the way the garden grows, it has some kind of laws governing it, and we connect our own creativity to the creativity of the garden as we move through it, pruning or cutting or whatever we're doing, planting. And we think about, okay, well, where will colors go together, and how does this look if I trim these branches or whatever? Then as our creative mind starts to wake up, immediately underneath that is our intuition. And that's the most exciting part, because the intuition starts to give us the feeling that actually these plants had a life before I came, and they're still alive now. And the compassion wakes up inside of us. Well, if they also have a mind, how do they feel that I'm coming to alter something in their existence? How are they thinking being out here in this environment every day with the sun and the moon and the stars and all the different things that happen? So our intuitional mind starts to waken up, and that awakens compassion. And as soon as we awaken compassion, we start to reconnect back to our very, very, very deepest parts of ourselves, which we could say is our spirituality. So garden therapy quickly goes from the physical through to the sensational or emotional, below the intellect into creative, quickly, very quickly into the intuition, and then from intuition into the spiritual or the woo-woo or whatever you want to call it. And with that, I'm going to finish because the rain is coming and it's time for me to go inside. Thanks so much for listening. And my suggestion is, when you've got a moment, get out into your garden and let the mind unravel from the here and now. Go deep in through those deeper layers of mind until you access your intuition and fall into that space of deep spiritual thinking. Okay, this is Kate, and if I can do it, you can do it. Let's get healthy together.